Speaking of Manny, he said something funny this week in New York. I don't know if you heard it. He said that a lot of people approach him and tell him that he won the fight against you when I maybe gave him 1 round, maybe 2. How can someone say that he beat you? I mean,
well, you know, I'd tell Manny, I think that, you know, to heal my shoulder, I should have, you know, went swimming in salt water, like he said he did, to heal his shoulder. It's so crazy that, I mean, Manny Pacquiao fought so many fights throughout his career. Then all of a sudden he get, you know, they made so many spoofs about Floyd Mayweather being a chicken, being scared, being a coward, and so many people, millions and millions of people around the world wanted Pacquiao and stood behind Pacquiao, and then he lost and they had something else to say. I didn't say how I was going to win. I said I will win. And that's what it's about in life. No matter how you win, as long as you win. But we take losses all the time. When a loved one is sick, that's a loss. When we lose a loved one, that's a loss. So we take loss. You know, we all have took losses.
Yeah, but how come you? I'm gonna ask you, how come you never quit? So many people, no matter what they do, whether they're a musician, whether they're a basketball player or boxer, everybody has a breaking point. What kept you going during the toughest times when you were like, I'm not making the money or I'm not getting the opportunity?
I always knew I was the best. I always knew I was the best from day one. I always knew I was the best. I always knew I worked the hardest. There's always. I didn't really believe there was a limit. I think a lot of fighters put limits on them. So I feel that whether it's an entertainer or a fighter or athlete, period, once they reach a certain point, they feel like, you know what, I made it. I made it. And I thought it was the money, but it really wasn't the money. It was the will to win. You know, I wanted to be a part of history for my name to live on forever. So it wasn't just one thing. It was multi things that molded me and made me into the ambitious person that I am today.
Do you ever think, how would you do against Hagler, Hearns, Duran?
That wasn't my era. That just wasn't my era. And as of today, you know, athletes are bigger, better, stronger, and faster. But how I feel against how I would have matched up with those fighters from that era, I mean, I never got tied in 12 rounds. You know, I've never showed that I was going to break. I never showed that I was going to quit. You know, I think that everybody in this world is an artist. Whether you're an athlete or an entertainer or you're just a regular person. It's just how are you going to paint? What is the picture that you're going to paint and the legacy that you're going to leave behind when you leave this earth? And the picture that I painted is that when it's TBE, it's just not inside the ring.
But it's
TBE outside the ring also, as far as giving back. And I don't have to tell the world that I gave back to the people that was less fortunate. As long as God know I did a good deed, that's what counts.
Floyd, you're a real positive person, and I know you never like talking negative. And one of your comments that you gave to Ben about racism in sports and in general.
Now everybody's talking about this,
yeah.
And I talked about this, I think a month ago. I talked about how, you know, my team is very, very diverse, very diverse. We have, I mean, a little bit people from all walks of life. You know, different nationalities, different race. But I speak the truth. And I would rather be hated for telling the truth than being loved for lying.